Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Advanced Bass Fishing, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me. And guys, today we're going to be talking about the term match the hatch. If you've been fishing very long, you've probably heard of this term. It was actually sort of coined by fly fishermen that try to tie up flies and imitate their bugs they make based upon the local bugs and insects in the streams and rivers for trout. But you can apply it directly to bass fishing too, in terms of matching the type of forage the fish are after, the color, the size, that type of thing. And I think that there's a lot of big myths and misunderstandings about match the hatch. And I sort of want to give you guys my opinion from what I have seen and my experimentations and things that have worked and have not worked for me. So we're going to get into that in today's episode. Also, guys, just a quick reminder, I don't know if you guys saw it, but Tackle Warehouse has got a bunch of good 20% off sales right now. If you're looking for anything, trolling motors, batteries, rain gear, outdoor wear, rods and reels, tackle, whatever, they got everything. I got my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would use and bookmark that link, it's a great way to support advanced bass fishing here. If you'd like to give something back to the channel, much appreciated. And also, guys, quick reminder about my on-the-water lessons. Anyone interested in booking one with me, just go to my Facebook page, Randy Blaukat Professional Angler, and shoot me a private message for the details on my on-the-water lessons here in Missouri. So I really appreciate that. Okay, this matching the hatch deal, when I first started bass fishing, I was all about that. It's like I felt that if I could match, what I thought the fish were feeding on as close as possible, that I'd catch more fish. So a lot of times I'd go to the lake and I'd turn over rocks and I'd look at the crawdads and I'd try to, see the color of the crawdads, and I'd try to make a jig color similar, or I'd try to, use some type of lure similar to the color of those crawdads. The same with anything. It's like, the perch, or sometimes those bluegills are really vibrant colors and sometimes they're sort of pale looking. Same with the bait fish, shad and everything like that. So I spent a lot of times trying to duplicate, matching the hatch. And I got to tell you right off the bat, guys, I didn't see any correlation whatsoever. And I really learned this a lot about crawdads, because crawdads, based upon where you're at in the country, they have a lot of different colors to them, a lot of different colorations. And I've got a skirt tying kit, so I can tie up like my jig colors almost exactly to match any crawdad out there. And I've tried this over and over again. It just doesn't work, because like here in Missouri, a lot of the crawdads we have here are green and black. I've tried green and black on jigs, not that great of a color. I think I've told this story before on my other channel, but I'll give you guys a good example. I was practicing for the US Open at Lake Mead several years ago. And I was catching my fish in that tournament, or in practice, on a wacky rig. And I got noticing that almost every bass that I caught on the wacky rig, it would have a crawdad pincher sticking out its throat with bright red pinchers. I'm talking like the entire pincher was just blood red. So I just said, man, this is going to be awesome. I said, I'm going to tie up a crawdad that looks exactly like this. And I tied up a bunch of, black and red, and green and red, exactly to match the crawdads I saw. They wouldn't touch it. It's like I could not get a dang bite, even though every bass I had one of these red pincher crawdads in there. It just didn't work. I used a jig trailer that had like a crawdad type trailer on it, dyed the craws red. I used actually a craw that has craws on it, dyed the craws red. They wouldn't even touch the thing. So I have seen this over and over again in terms of it just doesn't work that good. And another example I'll give you is back in the early 80s, Bagley came out with a series of baits called the small fry. And this was the first realistic looking lure ever, because before, all the other lures were just painted lures, like either metallic or a flat finish, paint job, very rudimentary. And the small fry line, they used foil on the thing, and I guess they printed the foil with some type of color, and some of the baits looked exactly like a perch, exactly. I couldn't get the fish to touch them at all. They just would not bite it. So here is what I want to pass along to you guys in this video. Don't pay attention to matching the hatch, because there are other factors that far outweigh the importance of it. I actually put matching the hatch down at the bottom of the list. I think in my own experience, I think the things that generate strikes in lures are the lure profile, how it displaces water, the sound and vibration of the lure, how it moves through the water, the action that you impart on the lure. And I think that the basic lure colors in terms of a flat finish, a metallic finish, or a translucent finish with a variety of different color patterns on there are more important than trying to get a bait to look exactly like what you're fishing. It just has not worked for me. So anyway, I just wanted to pass that along because I know a lot of people out there really try to, gravitate towards baits that look exactly like, the forage that they're fishing for, and it just doesn't work that good. Prime example, guys, is I've used, like, we don't have blueback herring here in Missouri, but I've caught a bunch of fish here in Missouri on blueback herring type lures, herring colored lures. And some lakes out there, that's about all they have is blueback herring. And I've caught a lot of fish on those lakes on threadfin and gizzard shad patterns. So again, the bass prefer, things other than things that look just realistic. That what generates a strike is not the exact look of a lure, it's the way the lure sounds, the way the lure moves, the size of the lure, and the action you impart on the lure. So anyway, you might just file that away in your fishing memory there and hope it helps out. We'll talk later.